Good evening, Commissioner and members of the Siting Council. My name is Kevin Zupkus, Z-U-P-K-U-S, and in case it isn't obvious to people in the room, Greg Zupkus is my brother. I just have to state that he's the principal of B&E Energy, and just to come clean on that. Regardless of our relationship, I would be here to support wind energy and Prospect Project. My support is rooted in a number of factors that are based in my general concern for our country and concerns on the environment. I am a lifelong resident of Connecticut. I live in Middlebury, Connecticut. My education is a background in electrical engineering. And when I was in electrical engineering school, I was told that an engineer is a problem solver. And when I look at the world today, we have a problem. And if it isn't obvious to our being held hostage to the Middle East, the crisis there, oil went over $100 a barrel today. It's been stated a number of times today about the price of gasoline and so forth. We need only to be reminded about last summer, the fiasco in the Gulf of Mexico, where we have to drill a mile down just to touch the soil and then drill another 2 miles to reach oil resources. I think it's ludicrous on this country where we've become so dependent on foreign energy sources where we have access to a renewable resource here in Connecticut. We're talking here tonight about putting a wind turbine to harness wind energy here in Connecticut. And what is wind energy? Anyone go outside last weekend? That was wind energy. It is available, it is clean, it is green, it is ready to be harnessed. The state of Connecticut put in place an objective to have 27%, as I'm sure people are aware, 27% of the energy of the state of Connecticut from renewable energy by the year 2020. And this is a project that puts us towards that path. I support the use of wind energy here in Connecticut and the project here in Prospect. Thank you.
Brian Donaldson, DON, ALD, SON, Lisbon, Connecticut. I'm now a resident of Prospect. I'm a member of Local 488 IDW. Prospect is covered in our area, so I'm here speaking on that. The Connecticut Renewable Portfolio requires that Connecticut electric suppliers and electric distribution company wholesale suppliers obtain a minimum percentage of their retail load by using renewable energy. The proposal of a moratorium on wind generation turbines would make reaching the 20% renewable energy goal very difficult. The proposed moratorium will not just affect Prospect or Colbert, but the entire state. Wind generation is both economically and environmentally smart solution to our increasing power needs. Wind energy has almost no environmental footprint. Migrating fish are not affected with wind generation as they are with hydroelectric dams, and the impacts on birds has been found to be less than a house cat or traffic. The GE 1.6 megawatt wind-powered turbines produce zero emissions and help to reduce Connecticut's dependency on fossil fuels and foreign oil. In 2008, a study was done that found approximately 8,500 megawatts of wind-generated electricity was produced in the U.S., avoiding 44 million tons of carbon emissions. That is like removing 7 million cars from our streets. The Prospect Wind Project alone would offset over 2,500 cars per year. Furthermore, in these unfavorable economic times, it seems counterproductive to turn away a business that will generate tax dollars in revenue and create jobs. In closing, I'd like to suggest that a moratorium be rejected, as it is not a substitute. Concerns should be addressed head-on and by effective legislation, not tabling the problem and ignoring it. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is James Lewis, L-E-W-I-S. I currently reside in my state in Connecticut. I'm from local Union 48, IDW electrical workers. I grew up in Milford, right next to Milford Power. I've also worked at Bridgeport Harbor Station. I've also worked at the Oxford Gas Compression Plant. I I've been around powerhouses. I've seen the inside of a coal burning plant, and the simple fact is we need more wind energy as it is. We need this area in Connecticut because we can't have Connecticut be a state that says no to renewable wind energy. It's not for us. We can't go spend millions of dollars on an environmentally friendly power source in some other state. This is what a moratorium on wind-generated power turbines would be saying to the companies that want to invest in Connecticut's future. The moratorium would not only stop the current plans in Prospect and Colebrook, but would also make future proposers think twice. In 8 years, Connecticut will be required to have 20% of its energy needs met by renewable energy sources. Without projects like the Wind Prospect project to set precedents in Connecticut, our efforts may come up short. Furthermore, in this tough economic times, a revenue source worth almost and/or over $150,000 worth of tax revenue to this city can only be added bonus to the jobs that will be created and to maintain the wind field. To conclude, if the siting committee or residents have concerns, they should be addressed with productive legislation, not putting the problems in a shoebox to be put away for someone else to deal with. I ask the committee to stand up and face the problems at hand, and ask the residents to understand that slowly but surely, without adding these renewable sources, we're destroying our nation and the entire planet in the future. Thank you.
My name is Dan McInerney, MC, capital I-M-E-R-N-E-R. Chairman Caruso, members of the Siting Council, I support the B&E wind project. The federal government has mandated that 20%, more than 20% of Connecticut's energy comes from renewable sources. Wind energy is one of the best ways to meet that goal. It is one of the least expensive, cleanest forms of renewable energy. Wind energy produces no dangerous waste, which will aid in reducing global warming and has minimal impact on the environment. The construction and maintenance of this site will add much-needed jobs at a time when the rate of unemployment is at record heights. These jobs will also aid local businesses as workers tend to spend money locally for goods and services. B&E will also become one of the largest, if not the largest, taxpayer in Prospect at a time when towns are in dire need of revenue, just to maintain their current services. B&E Energy's wind project can also offer an opportunity to educate future generations about clean, 100% renewable energy, the need for which we can no longer ignore. Thank you.